Hey, I'm Joel Wanasek with URM Academy, and today we're going to unbox in July 2023 a double header, Nail the Mix. We've got Left to Suffer and Kingdom of Giants, two absolutely badass bands. The mixer is Matt Thomas, who's absolutely been on a meteoric rise the last couple of years. Just a fantastic mixer, very, very talented, and an awesome dude. Let's dig into these tracks. We're going to start off with Left to Suffer. The song is going to be called Disappoint Me. Let's have a listen.
Breaking me down as quickly as to build me up. And I'm now here thinking about it every day. Cause we're all built to feel pain. Not to feel nothing, when will anything fucking change? Why does it matter when we're open and die? Why can't you ever fucking look me in the eye? Why am I the one that you've chosen? So make up your fucking mind. You gotta rewrite my reality. Then you go just spit in my face. Keep my name in your mouth, I'm at it and change. Why do you sit there and belittle me? Why you choke on your own and I'm out today? Cause we're all built to feel pain. Not to feel nothing, when will anything fucking change?
All right, let's take a look at this. Now, I love this band. They are one of my favorite heavy bands out right now. They just have such an infectious groove. The vocals in this band are just so ridiculously good. All right, let's take a look here at what we get here when you open this up and you're gonna mix this. So we've got some rhythm guitars. There are DIs included. Those are some low-ass guitars. There's a pitch DI. We got the heavy stuff here. And then down an octave, as if it wasn't low enough to begin with. I think one of the hardest parts when mixing heavy guitars is guitars that are tuned this low, like where do you put the bass and the kick in the mix, right? So that's something that you're gonna struggle with and you're gonna have to find out in this mix. These guitars sound super badass and are super cool. Let's take a look at some of the leads. Super spooky stuff, I love it. We got another one here, let's check this out. Brutal. So we got a couple of guitar tracks, pretty straightforward on this one. Let's take a look here at our bass and see what we've got. I see a DI. And that's process, sounds super brutal. Let's hear it with the guitars. So heavy. It's going to be, like I said, a lot of work to get that to sound really, really fantastic in a mix. You know, it's produced very well. These source tones are great, but definitely because of the tuning, that's something that's really going to challenge you. Okay, let's take a look at the drums here. We've got quite a bit of tracks. I'm just going to solo them all. Very well recorded. Let's take a look at our kick. Sounds fantastic. We've got a snare. Very, very, very well engineered. These raws sound awesome. Okay, let's check out our toms here. They're already strip silenced. Okay, we've got spot mics, overhead, ride, china, stack, and splash, which is really nice when you're doing heavy music because you want things to be clear and be able to hear all the accent symbols so the drummers don't beat us up. So those are really clean. We got overheads. Super punchy drum room. Mono room, sounds awesome. Okay, now one thing that I think is really, really awesome, and I do have the advantage of having actually mastered this song. One thing that's really amazing about Matt's mixes is his way that he handles all of the sub impact work. Like Matt's stuff always has a ton going on in the subs, all these hits, booms, smashes, things like that. And you know, to be able to mix a song this heavy with this much low tuning that's this fast at this tempo, and then throw a bunch of sub impacts and risers and like, you know, just really, really deep stuff in it, that's a challenge. So I can't wait to see how Matt's going to handle that. And I know that when you mix this song, you're definitely going to be challenged by that as well. So let's take a look at some of this cool stuff that's in here. There's a lot of this ear candy. Let's hear this. Super sick. Damage loop. We got a sub. Explosions. atmospheres. I love this stuff because it just brings songs to life and makes them so much more fun than simply a guitar riff. Those are some filthy subs. I mean, those literally sound like 808 style, like, you know, like something you hear in like a trap song. But I think that gives us a clue. He's actually using some saturation on his sounds to get them to cut through in the mix, which I think is cool. You know, this one's going to be good by how it's named.
You build me up, and I'm down here thinking about it every day. Cause we're all built to feel pain. Such a feel nothing will anything fucking change.
So you're really gonna have your work, you know, some work to do on that bottom end, because anything, you know, there's so much information going on under 100 hertz. It's just like, that is really the challenge, I think, in this mix. Heavy music is pretty hard to mix in the to begin with, but on top of that, throwing in all of this sub impact stuff. Have fun with that. All right, let's hear these vocals. This vocalist is really, really, really sick.
Breaking me down as quickly as you build me up. And I'm still here thinking about it every day. Cause we're all built to feel pain. Start to feel nauseous, when will anything fucking change? Oh, why does it matter when we're up in the night? Why can't you ever fucking look me in the eye? Why am I the one that you choose?
We got some scream layers, some main vocals. It's just straight dubbed. Like, there's not that much crazy stuff going on in terms of like sides and vocals like that. I mean, I just love the flow. I mean, listen to this vocal flow. It's so sick.
Breaking me down as quickly as you build me up. And I'm down here thinking about it every day. Cause we're all built to feel pain. Start to feel nothing, when will anything fucking change? Why does it?
I bet this is badass live. I bet people go nuts when they hear this. Like, the flow is just so sick. What a vocal delivery. They don't look like they're compressed really on the way in. If they are slightly, he might have just like put something soft on them. Okay, we got some other scream layers and things like that. Let's take a look at these.
Living in a lie.
Oh, what a fun song to mix. I mean, absolutely, I think you're going to enjoy this one. Like I said, there's some definite challenges. All right, now let's move on to the next song. All right, the next song we've got up here on this Double Nail the Mix is Wayfinder by Kingdom of Giants. Now, this isn't as heavy as the Left to Suffer song, but this song is still really cool. It's got a ton of production in it. You can see we've got quite a few tracks with a lot of cool like effects and things like that. So let's have a listen and see what this is about. That's cool. We got two vocalists. That's going to be fun. All right, so let's take a look at this. We're going to start off with the guitars because I'm a guitar player and I'm biased, and guitar is the best instrument. This song is actually a little bit different because he didn't print tones. You get guitar DIs. Which I always love when producers do this because, you know, talk about good practicing. You know, we're here to learn how to mix, obviously, and nail the mix, but this is also a master class in production, okay? Because, you know, sitting down and trying to beat the guitar tones that are on the recording and sitting down and taking the DIs, like that's a lot of work, that's a lot of effort, and it's an important part. Again, when you're mixing heavy music, you know, you could say that reamping isn't mixing. I think that's a valid argument, but honestly, a lot of times, more often than not, at least when I'm mixing, you know, people will send in DIs and we'll try to always beat their guitar tones because why not, right? So this is good practice for you to work on your own guitar tone. So you got DIs on there. There's no reference tone. You're just going to have to listen to the mix. Let's take a look here. We got some leads and some things like that. Let's see what this is all about. So it's definitely going to make you do some work in the guitar department. What do we got for bass? Let's see. I see one track. Sounds great. Keeping it simple. Okay, let's take a look at the drums here. We've got a lot of tracks of drums. Okay, let's take a look at our kick. Sample. There, sample. Okay, cool. We got 2 overheads. Okay, cool. This is actually programmed. See, now here you go. And you got MIDI here. I'm not sure what mapping this is. I'm sure it probably says. And this also just might be the shells and things like that. But I'd have to check the notes. But yeah, I mean, I love this because, again, the other song is a totally different beast to mix. Here, you've got to do your own guitar DIs. You have to work with programmed drums instead of, you know, actual recorded drums. And it's a challenge. You know what I mean? Like every one of these songs has a different challenge for you to mix. And I think that's one of the things that makes it fun when you're getting better at mixing. Practice, mix a lot of different songs, get a lot of different, you know, types of challenges in them. I will say, I think that's one of the best ways to learn how to mix and get better fast is to mix a lot of different songs. Because if you just spend a whole month, say, working on a song, that's really not realistic. But if you mix 20 different songs that you practice with in a month, what's going to happen is you're going to solve different sets of problems. So this is a prime example of that. You know, in the other song, you get dialed in with the real drums and the guitar tones are already printed. Now here, you've got to take program drums and you've got to dial in your own tones. And it's a totally different animal for mixing. So that's awesome. Okay, let's take a look at some of the effects stuff in this. This song is kind of, I don't want to say like an industrial vibe, but it's got a lot of programming in it and it's really sick. I really love Matt's programming. It's really fantastic. And he always does a lot of really, really cool stuff in all of his productions. So that's cool. We got some beats to work with, some sub stuff, some risers, some impacts and stuff. Not as, you know, not as crazy as the last song. Like I said, different songs, different challenges. A bass. I see some more leads. Let's take a look at these real quick in the bridge. That's cool. Okay, so let's take a look at these and here, listen to this. So I think one of the challenges with this song, where the last song was about getting the tuning right at the tempo and, you know, just bringing out like all that brutal energy, this song's a little bit more, I want to say, rock influence for heavy band. And there's a lot of like this, I'm going to call them industrial components. Now I'm showing my age because it just reminds me of like the 90s stuff, like this that sort of programming. There's a lot of programming in this. And I think that it's going to be, you know, that's the challenge with this. Okay, so now we have a ton of vocal stacks here. Let's take a look at some of these vocals and see what you've got. I see 1, 2 singers plus gangs. So, you know, again, also a challenge to get 2 vocalists to both sound badass on the track. Good thing you have great singers in this band.
Off the rails, you know we got too deep.
Blindly searching for meaning of who we are. We are passengers. Life's so finite.
Okay, that's awesome. So there's a lot of vocal production in this song. Again, totally different animal than the other song. And that's going to definitely challenge your mixing because might be able to mix one song really well, but you might not be as good as another song. And this allows you to solve different problems and improve. Okay, let's take a look at these. So we got the screams, quite a few stacks of these. Let's solo these all out and rock it.
The roads we take call us home. Balance. White lines erase me. I'm no stranger to misery.
These vocals sound fantastic. Yeah, they look like they might have hit a little bit of compression on the way in. They look consistent, but they don't look like destroyed or anything like that. And I see a lot of like peaks and valleys. So I don't think there is necessarily too much going in, if even if at all, but maybe a little bit. We have some effects and some cool vocal stuff. So yeah, this Kingdom of Giants song I think is going to be a lot of fun to mix. It's got a lot of great production elements, fantastic band, great song, you know, a nice compliment to the Left to Suffer, which is super heavy. So when you go to nailthemix.com and you sign up, you can mix both of these songs this month. And at the end of the month, we're going to have Matt Thomas come on, show us how he mixed these songs and got the sound of these records, which is going to be fantastic. Of course, we have a great mixing competition and all that stuff. So if you don't know how Nail the Mix works, give me a second. Let's head over to the website and I'm going to break it down for you and show you all the awesome stuff that you get with a Nail the Mix subscription, because it's more than simply just getting to mix these two songs. So when you go to nailthemix.com and you sign up and you log in, this is what your dashboard looks like. You're going to get this Left to Suffer song, this Kingdom of Giants song. We also have a lot of other things included in your subscription that are super cool. But just to show you the lay of the land, so if we go over to this Left to Suffer here, you know, you can see all the stuff that's going on here. You know, you can hear the song, download it, you know, get a mix crit, ask questions. You know, we have session info about the mixer, you know, stuff like that, etc. You know, when we do the live stream, it'll be here. You can come into the chat and integrate with Matt and ask him questions as he mixes. So on top of that, you also get access to what's called MixLab, which is super awesome. MixLab is just a massive, massive vault of really fantastic, useful tips on how to improve your mixing. So maybe if you're a busy person and you don't have a lot of time, you want to just pick something up every day, you know what I mean? We've got all these great things, you know, like mic placement for vocal tracking, you know, tracking guitars for vibe. What do consoles sound like? You know, how to using Audio Gritter to save CPU. You just all these different types of things all filtered out and organized here. So for example, if you want to dig into EQ stuff, boom, you can go like that. If you want to dig into like guitar stuff, boom, you can go like that. So MixLab, we got over 166 MixLabs. But not only do you get access to MixLab when you sign up for Nail the Mix, we also have what's called Portfolio Builder. So if you want to practice mixing, right, you get these two fantastic songs. Well, now you have another 36 songs that you can download, you can practice. And if you're a pro or aspiring pro, you can put these in your portfolio to show other bands if you don't really have any clients or whatever, so they can see the mixes. But we have a large variety of genres in here, you know, pretty much anything and everything that you could want, from country to extreme metal, pop music, everything that you could ever want to mix and practice. And there's just a ton of great sounding stuff in here. You can hone in your mixing skills. Like I said, the more songs that you mix, the better that you're going to get at it, the more different types of problems that you're going to be solving. So all that stuff comes with your Nail the Mix subscription. Now, we also have access to a fantastic community. There's the mixing competition, all the prizes and all the great stuff. But if you really, really, really want to get serious about mixing and take your stuff up to the next level, I highly recommend that you go Enhance. And that's nailthemix.com/upgrade. It's $1 to try it your first month. And Enhance has absolutely the deepest diving education you're going to find anywhere on the internet. Now, I will say this, when we're doing Nail the Mix, you're going to watch somebody mix a song from top to bottom, but, you know, we may not have 3 hours to go into compression, where if you go into Enhance, you know, and if you want to dial into compression, you know, we have all these super deep dive fast tracks on compression and stuff like that, you know, like hearing compression, you know, how to use a compressor, musical compression, etc. Like anything and everything, all these super deep dives, you know, EQ, compression, balance, you know, things like that, from writing and producing to editing to training your fader balance, and just everything you can possibly think of. The most comprehensive library of educational content anywhere you're going to find in the entire internet on mixing. And our subscribers all agree. So aside from that, you also have access to what is called the one-on-ones. So for example, if you want to sit down with somebody on our staff, you can come in and, you know, it's part of your Enhanced subscription, book a one-on-one and sit down and work with them. And, you know, maybe get questions, you want to get crits on your mix, etc. Boom, it's all right there. Okay, and finally, we have what's called Mix Rescue, and we have 55 of these where you can submit in your song and have a pro open it up and take your mix from where you left off and it's finished, and bring your mix up to the next level, show you what problems you might have missed, and show you how to improve it. So all that stuff comes with your Enhanced subscription. It's the most insane value for your buck online mixing education you're gonna learn and get anywhere. I should say audio production education, because we cover everything, not just mixing, even though we know everybody loves mixing and prefers mixing to everything else, but it's all here in this one place. So go check that out. You know, like I said, Enhance also includes Nail the Mix and all that stuff. Again, that's nailthemix.com/upgrade. Thank you so much. Happy mixing, and we'll see you next month.